have an update on the ongoing saga involving the Diddler,
Unbelievable.
the Diddler Fiddler. So Diddy's trial, and I mean that literally, Diddler Fiddler.
Yes.
Diddy's Diddy's trial set to begin on May the 12th, and his defense team has a uphill battle to say the least.
Hmm.
And they are coming up with ways to sort of formulate his defense and see to it that they can minimize the damage in light of the charges that he is facing. And part of that defense involves positioning him as a swinger. So, for anyone who does not know, I believe the is it the feds or the state? Um, there was a plea offer issued to him, which was rejected. And part of the talking points that came out of him rejecting the plea deal was he's going to just take it to trial and fight it. And one of the weird things that came out of that was this declaration that he's a swinger. And this is something that swingers do. This is a part of swinger culture. So this says Diddy claims he's a swinger as he rejects plea deal. Diddy has claimed that he is simply a swinger and not a sex criminal as he opts to reject a plea deal from prosecutors. In a hearing just weeks before the Bad Boy Records founder's sex trafficking trial is due to begin, it was revealed that Diddy had previously been offered a plea deal by the government. During the hearing, Judge Arun Subramanian was asked by prosecutors to check with Diddy if he understood the terms of the offered plea deal on the record. The judge said that he would address the plea deal at a future hearing on May 1st. The terms of the plea deal are currently unknown, and Diddy and his legal team are yet to comment on their decision to reject it. Diddy has also defended his alleged behavior as being part of the swinger lifestyle. During the wide-ranging hearing, Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, said, "There's a lifestyle, call it swingers or whatever you will, that he thought was appropriate because it was common. Many people think it's appropriate because it's common." Prosecutors also lobbied the judge to allow them to use the testimony of an alleged victim who claims they underwent a medical procedure that has a connection to the allegations. Prosecutors did not reveal the nature of the procedure, and the judge has not yet ruled on whether their testimony will be allowed. The judge was also asked by prosecutors to allow a sex tape involving Diddy to be used as evidence in the trial, but that the video not be shown to the public due to its extreme sensitive nature. Diddy also took a big loss in the hearing as the judge ruled that the prosecution can use the security footage of the mogul assaulting Cassie in a hotel corridor as evidence. Diddy and his team have been attempting to cast doubt on the authenticity of the video, even though the rapper and producer previously apologized for this conduct in the clip. So, again, let me repeat that. The terms of the plea deal are currently unknown, and Diddy and his legal team are yet to comment on their decision to reject it. Diddy has also defended his alleged behavior as being part of the swinger lifestyle. There's a lifestyle called the swingers or whatever you will that he thought was appropriate because it was common. Many people think it's appropriate because it's common. So um, they're suggesting with a straight face
Hmm.
that what went on here was not improper because he lives a swingers lifestyle. What do you think about that?
I think his defense, his lawyers, man, I think they're just grasping at straws, bro. I mean, where else can you go to try to justify the freak offs in general? And even then, if you want to give him the swinger thing, which is whatever, um, there's so many of the allegations that are outside of the actual parties itself. There's the whole, you know, extortion stuff that he does when it comes to, if you want to be on, you got to do this, or just straight up grape. It's not even at a party. Those allegations are out there. So I mean, I get it. The swinger stuff can justify the things that's going on in the tape. You know, so yeah, man, if he's into you know, you know, you know what I'm saying, proclivities. You know what I'm saying? gerbils in certain areas, that's fine and dandy, bro, because that goes on in certain circles. So long as it's consenting adults. But if you had to get somebody in the mood by squirting baby oil on them, I'm pretty sure the tapes can show that. Or if there's certain drinks that you're handing somebody and they're now in a different state of mind after one drink, I'm pretty sure tapes can also reveal that. So there's so many things that that are swirling around with these allegations that are just beyond actual swinger lifestyle. So, but again, as a lawyer, what ground do you have to stand on when dealing with these levels of allegations? You know what I'm saying? So they don't really have much to land on. So I understand this. I understand this argument, but to deny the plea, that's some wild stuff, man. But hey, he's innocent until proven guilty. All right, gotta say that. So, so if he feels he's innocent, so be it, man. But I don't think that's a strong enough um, statement to alleviate himself from the alleged evidence that's supposed to be hitting during these trials. But what are your thoughts, man, on Diddy's lawyers basically saying that, hey, man, he was just living a swinger's lifestyle. So that explains why he was doing it, because it was so common. He didn't think he was doing anything wrong. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, that's a reach. It's a reach. They're circling the drain. They are circling the drain for sure. You know, this is a co-op. This is co-opting. This is bad faith acting. You know, this is the sexual degeneracy equivalent of somebody unaliving somebody, you know, knowingly, willfully, of sound mind, and then going to court and attempting to argue that they're legally insane. Um, it's circling. They're circling the drain. This is, Neo saying I'm in a polyamorous relationship when really what he's doing is running a harem. And what he's doing is he's giving a bad name to people who actually do polyamorous relationships the way that it's supposed to be done by definition. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who are swingers for real who are saying, hey, listen, don't associate me with this guy. Don't associate what we do with this type of behavior. He is co opting in bad faith what being a swinger is actually all about. These are serious charges, and we don't want the word or term swinger being even tangentially associated with this kind of behavior, because that's not what we're about. Because what ends up happening as a result is now there is a microscope. Like let's say in a hypothetical, parallel universe that they are successful in convincing the jury, so to speak, that this falls within the parameters of swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're placing you're placing a very judicious microscope around the idea of swinging in general and anyone who claims to participate in it, because now they're going to have to deal with whether they do swinging or whether they do the diddler version of swinging. So I would imagine a lot of people who indulge in that kind of alternative lifestyle are feeling some type of way about the fact that they practice it legitimately, and now they have to deal with that kind of collateral backlash potentially of being with having their lifestyle associated with a degenerate like this guy, and attempting to co-opt swinging with his behavior is giving a real bad name to legitimate swingers everywhere. No, no, right. No different than Neo giving a bad name to legitimate polys everywhere. Because Neo's running a harem. A polyamorous relationship is everybody can do what they do as long as everyone knows about it and agrees with it. But what he has going on is I'm running a harem and I'm the only man at the top. So there are no other men in this equation but me. That's not actually polyamorous. If you if I am to take the definition of polyamorous seriously, that's not polyamorous. That's a that's that's neo harem. That's what that is. So, for the sake of legitimate swingers everywhere, um, I will say I don't think this is going to wash. It's a reach, as you intimated. They're circling the drain because this guy is facing an uphill battle of epic proportions. And it really is annoying when people, when faced with desperation, attempt to do this and discredit people who actually live some form of a lifestyle legitimately. Because now swingers are going to have to deal with that kind of stain, I would imagine. Now I'm personally not involved in such an alternative lifestyle, nor do I have a desire to be. But no one wants their lifestyle to be co-opted by a bad faith actor who's looking to sidestep prosecution, or just looking to have their degenerate behavior legitimized in any particular way. And that's what we don't need to happen. So, for the sake of making sure that we place sexual degeneracy in the appropriate judgmental bucket that it deserves to be in, I don't believe that this will happen. And I'm not sitting here defending swingers in any kind of way. It's an alternative lifestyle that's not necessarily for me. But just like poly people, I'm not poly either. But I do know that there's people who do poly the poly way. And I'm pretty sure there's people who do swinging the swinging way. And they
Yeah.
they don't want their swingers lifestyle co-opted by this kind of degeneracy. So for the sake of those folks, I don't think you have much to worry about because this is desperation at its finest. They're circling the drain, and before long, they're going to go down that drain.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's definitely swingers out here. I've heard of parties. I want to say when I was in Tallahassee. Well, those are frat houses, but also like actual ones that was outside of like frat houses and stuff. I've heard of those. I know for sure there's some booty clapping sessions going on in Atlanta. I know infamously they have those there. So yeah, there's people out there that live swinger lifestyles and they go to these sessions and there's all kinds of clapping going on.
Sessions.
Yeah, man, they go to these sessions, bro, and there's all kinds of clap action. And so, yeah, so I know people that out there really do that, and here they come, just delivering my mail the very next day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's people out there that live that life. But yeah, I don't know which ones that he attend. I don't know what how common the ones that he went to that was so common where everybody was doing that. Is it these other Hollywood freak offs that this was common and this was just commonplace and you just was groomed into this yourself? You just didn't know that this was wrong behavior because well everybody in the industry was living like this. Is that where you're getting at? Because if that is where he's getting at, then he's going the snitching route. I don't know if he's actually going to explain what he saw, where he saw it at, who he saw doing it, to let him think that everybody in the industry is supposed to behave this way. But that'll be an angle to play with this outside of normal orgies. Damn, I said orgies. Normal freak offs. All right. So if you want to call anything normal when it comes to freak offs, but I think once you start introducing livestock, um, livestock, all right, and other things that the dit lives into, who knows, bro? It goes left. So yeah, man. Overall, I think that this guy and this trial, this is going to get dragged out. We're going to be hearing about this guy um, for a while. This is going to take. I think this is going to be like some 1 2 year because they keep pushing dates back. They keep this and that. So I think that this is going to be a long, drawn out situation, and he plans on fighting this.
Yeah.
It looks like he plans on fighting this, no matter how dumb it sounds. Nobody's buying it, and because again, and when we talked about this the first time, it was one of those situations where everybody knew he was up to some weird behavior for the last 30 years. Like everybody knew it, you know. So now when it's come out that it's actual legal and stuff and real allegations attached to what everybody kind of already knew, it's going to be hard to beat that public perception. So he's going to be fighting tooth and nail, and he's going to come up with more rigmarole, more trash. But I'm not personally buying it. Of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. But me personally, I think that it's I don't know who he's trying to play, but he ain't playing me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. You know, to the real, to the real, to the real swingers out there, you know, I stand with you in solidarity. I stand with you in solidarity in spirit.
Nah,
From the
somebody clip that, man.
Yeah, I
Somebody clip.
know. from the from the standpoint that I feel you in I can understand rather your desire to not allow your lifestyle to be co-opted with excusing someone's sexual degeneracy. And sexual degeneracy needs to be called out. Sexual deviancy needs to be called out. It's one of the things plaguing our society, and any of the agents who perpetuate sexual degeneracy need to be called out for what they are, which is sexual degenerates, not given a sugar coating label of being a swinger or being polyamorous. That's not what you're doing. You're engaging in sexual deviancy or sexual degeneracy, and you're finding social categorizations to make it morally standing. And that is something that do need to rise up above, because as our society continues to allow that kind of behavior to persist, we won't be able to tell the difference between what truly is good and bad anymore. We'll just accept it all as whatever. It's just here. So let's just accept it all as something that we can either choose to indulge in or not, but there's no line of demarcation in terms of its decency. And I do think that that's a cautionary, I think something like this is a cautionary tale that can inform us on not allowing that kind of behavior to go on. So
Yeah,
I'm with all y'all swingers out there. I'm not a swinger. I don't do the poly stuff. I don't do that alternative stuff. I'm more of a traditionalist, but I also don't think that it's cool for your accepted lifestyle to be co-opted with degeneracy,
wow.
because it provides legitimacy to the degenerates, and that's what we don't need.
Yeah, man. Because the goalposts for what is degenerate
It's
has
moving.
have
Yeah.
been moving.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
it's a wild world we're living in, bro.
Yep. Yep. It is. It's moving all the time. But yeah, yeah. Good luck to y'all prosecutors defending this dude. Um, you're worth every penny of that retainer that he's paying you.
Yeah, hope those checks are clearing, guys.
For real.